Welcome to another spine-tingling episode of Monsters, Legends, and Conspiracies. This week, we take a look into the state of Massachusetts. I'm your host, Sarah, and today, we're diving into one of New England's most mysterious and eerie places, the Bridgewater Triangle, a region steeped in legends, unexplained phenomena, and unsettling lore. Buckle up, because we're heading into the heart of a paranormal hotbed that's been baffling locals and investigators alike for centuries. In this 200-square-mile zone of southeastern Massachusetts, reports of UFO sightings, Bigfoot encounters, mysterious creatures, and strange lights in the sky have all been recorded. Today, we'll explore the history of this enigmatic area, examine its legends, and delve into some of the most chilling encounters reported by eyewitnesses. Let's start by laying out the facts. The Bridgewater Triangle is a 200-square-mile region first named by cryptozoologist Loren Coleman in the late 1970s. Its rough boundaries form a triangle, with the towns of Abington, Rehoboth, and Freetown marking its points. But within this triangle lies a bizarre collection of supernatural and unexplained events. At the heart of it all is the Hockomock Swamp, whose name is derived from the Algonquin word meaning the place where spirits dwell. Indigenous people in this area believed this land was cursed, or at the very least, spiritually significant. And given the bizarre events that have taken place, they might not be far off. From UFO sightings to cryptid creatures, hauntings, to mysterious cult activity, the Bridgewater Triangle has seen it all. So what is it about this region that draws so much paranormal activity? Is it the land itself? Something more mystical? Or are the legends feeding off of the human imagination? Let's begin with one of the most common paranormal phenomena reported in the Bridgewater Triangle: UFO sightings. In the 1970s, there were several reports of unidentified flying objects in the skies over Bridgewater, particularly around the area of the Hockomock Swamp. Perhaps the most famous sighting occurred in 1979, when two WHDH news reporters witnessed a strange, low-flying object shaped like a disc hovering above the swamp. Descriptions of these sightings vary, but many describe flashing lights, flying saucers, and glowing orbs. In fact, these reports go all the way back to colonial times. In 1908, a report described a large, flying object seen by two undertakers traveling near the swamp. They said it looked like a giant lantern, but it moved across the sky at an incredible speed, unlike anything known at the time. While UFO sightings have become a part of popular culture today, back then, these experiences were deeply unsettling, leading people to believe that the skies above the Bridgewater Triangle were hiding something not of this world. Could these sightings be extraterrestrial in nature? Or is there something more terrestrial, but equally strange at play? We'll leave that for you to decide. Now, let's move from the skies to the land and talk about the cryptid creatures that are said to lurk in the Bridgewater Triangle. First up is one of the most famous cryptids of all, Bigfoot. Yes, even here in Massachusetts, reports of a Bigfoot-like creature have surfaced. In the 1970s, numerous witnesses claimed to have seen a large, hairy, ape-like creature in the woods around the Hockomock Swamp. Some described it as being over 7 feet tall, with glowing red eyes. Other creatures reported in the triangle include giant birds, described as pterodactyl-like, flying over the swamp, and even phantom panthers that leave no trace. What could explain the presence of so many creatures in this concentrated area? Are these physical entities? Or is something else manifesting here? Cryptids aren't the only mysterious entities in the Bridgewater Triangle. The area is also famous for its haunted locations. One of the most notable is the Freetown Fall River State Forest. Within this forest, people have reported seeing ghosts, mysterious shadow figures, and feeling an overwhelming sense of dread. The forest is also tied to rumors of cult activity, particularly in the 1980s, when several cases of ritualistic animal mutilation were reported. Another haunting hotspot is the old Taunton State Hospital. Once a mental institution, it is now a decaying, abandoned building. Visitors claim to have seen apparitions, heard disembodied voices, and felt the presence of something, or someone, still wandering its halls. And we can't forget the infamous Bridgewater ghost, reported near Route 138, where a ghostly figure dressed in 19th century clothing is said to appear before vanishing into thin air. With so much death, tragedy, and mystery surrounding the triangle, it's no surprise that these places have left an energetic mark. But is it just the environment, or could there be something more sinister at work? The history of the Bridgewater Triangle goes back even further than colonial times, with a deep connection to the Wampanoag people, the indigenous tribe that lived in the area long before European settlers arrived. According to legend, the land was cursed by the Wampanoag after settlers took their sacred land and disrupted the burial grounds. The most famous of these is King Philip's War, one of the bloodiest conflicts in U.S. history. It is said that the violence and tragedy of that war left a permanent stain on the land, manifesting in the supernatural events we see today. Some even say that strange stone structures and large boulders found in the triangle were part of ancient rituals, possibly serving as gateways to the spirit world, or markers of significant energy points. Could this be why the Bridgewater Triangle seems to be a magnet for the paranormal? What do you think? Is the Bridgewater Triangle just a coincidence of strange occurrences, or is there something far more mysterious at work here? The UFOs, cryptids, hauntings, and curses all seem to weave a complex tapestry of fear and wonder in this small corner of Massachusetts. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, there's no denying that the Bridgewater Triangle holds an air of mystery that's difficult to ignore. And maybe, just maybe, the next time you find yourself driving through southeastern Massachusetts, you'll catch a glimpse of something you can't quite explain. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Monsters, Legends, and Conspiracies. Be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the world's greatest mysteries. Have a story or theory of your own? Reach out to us on social media. Until next time, this is Sarah, reminding you to stay curious, stay cautious, and never stop seeking the truth.